Hi everybody, welcome back to 100% Mag. So here's a full roundup of Newcastle United's transfer deadline day, and of course our transfers, ins and outs at the club this transfer window. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So Newcastle's managed to get in some pretty good players in this transfer window. Unfortunately we have lost some pretty good ones as well, and of course Rafa Benitez leaving the club wasn't the best neither. But we have managed to bring in some pretty good players under Steve Bruce, and of course we all know Steve Bruce probably isn't pulling the trigger on any of these signings. It probably is Lee Charnley and Mike Ashley, but at the end of the day that doesn't mean that they're bad signings. We've still managed to bring in Jethro Williams from Eintracht Frankfurt on a loan with an option to buy. Absolutely sensational left back. I've watched him on YouTube, I've watched him playing when he was playing in the Rivitas, and he was an absolute sensational fullback, and I think he'll play really well for you. He's already done a little bit of magic already with another signing that we got, which was Alain Saint-Maxime from Nice. Him and Saint-Maxime in the Saint-Etienne game played absolutely well together. Then of course you've got two lads coming in from the for the future in Kyle Scott and Jake Turner. Of course, Kyle Scott coming in from Chelsea's under-21s and Jake Turner coming in from Bolton. Now, of course, the reason we got Jake Turner in from Bolton is that, Bolton's having financial difficulties. We were able to snipe him away from the club, and he's a pretty good goalkeeper as well. Definite one for the future. Kyle Scott, again, an absolutely amazing player. Well and truly one for the future in my eyes, and definite future international level as well. And then of course you look at Saint-Maxime, another player, absolutely sensational, definitely one for the French national team in the future. His dribbling's absolutely sensational. Last season he was the best dribbler in Europe, outbeating Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, Neymar and Kylian Mbappe, and a bunch of other European footballers as well. So that's absolutely amazing to be able to scoop him in for 16.5 million, rising to 20 million. If you haven't seen the video, I talk a little bit more in detail about Saint-Maxime. I'd suggest you go check that out. I also talk about Jethro Williams in the same video as well. Then of course we've got Joelinton coming in from Hoffenheim, 40 million or record signing in this window. And by far, I think he's worth every penny at the moment. He's got 2-2 in pre-season for Newcastle, and if he can continue that into the league games, in the cup games this season, I don't see why it would be a bad deal, to be honest. Then of course you've got the two signings that came in today. Emil Kraft came in very early today, signing for Newcastle for 5 million. The Swedish right back is going to be absolutely sensational, hopefully, for Newcastle. He helped Sweden to get to the 2018 quarterfinals of the World Cup, and also he played really well last season for Ems. And then of course you've got the big one, the free lad, and the big lad, Big Andy, has returned to Tyneside, and I can't be any happier, literally, that Andy Carroll was finally coming home, finally coming back to where he belongs, back to where he's respected. He should have never left the club 8.5 years ago to go to Liverpool. It was a bad move by the lad, and at the end of the day, it didn't really help his career much. He went then down to West Ham. He played 126 games for West Ham, scoring 33 goals in that time period, also getting 12 assists. Not bad goals to game ratio, to be honest, but what could have happened if he had just stayed at Newcastle? He could have been banging in the goals in the black and white up here. But anyway, he's finally back. I'm so happy to have him back at Newcastle United. Welcome home, Andy. Welcome home, mate. And I met him at Aspas when he'd not long left for to go to Liverpool. I had a good chat with him about what his move was like, and what he thought of Liverpool. Living there, and he said that he just wanted to be back home. He wanted to come back to Newcastle, he wanted to play for us, and he said that one day he would come back and he'd play for it, and he's kept to his word. He's come back and he's playing for Newcastle, and yes, his injuries problems that might be a little bit of a concern, you know, but I'm sure Newcastle have well and truly looked over that before even thinking about bringing him in on the free, you know. And at the end of the day, it was only a free deal to bring him in as well. A 30-year-old Andy Carroll is much better than Joselu, who cost 5 million. Non-offence to Joselu, you know, he was an alright player in his time when he was here, but you know, he's no big Andy, is he? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below on everything and all the signings in this transfer window for Newcastle United, and you know, other clubs as well, like Arsenal. They've got some good signings that they've just gotten. You know, they're trying to get David Luiz from Chelsea. That's a pretty good deal. I'm surprised that not many other clubs try to go in from. You know, Daniel Sturridge as well is still on the free list. I'm surprised nobody's scooped him up yet. I would have liked to have seen Newcastle try and scoop him up. If we can, we could still do it as well, because he's a free. You know, you can sign the free agents anytime you want. You know, that would be a good signing as well. But with what we've got in the strike force, in Andy Carroll, Dwight Gale, Yoshimutu and Joe Linton, you know, do we really need a fifth player in there? Not really, but let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And as always, remember, like, share, subscribe to 100% Mags. Trying to reach 250 subscribers by the end of this month. Until next time, I'll see you all later, and how are the lads?